As the first president of the United States, George Washington set many precedents for the executive branch. He established social customs for the president through his actions. For example, even though he was a military general, he wore a suit rather than a uniform. He ended his time as president after 2 terms in office, even though the Constitution had no such requirement. This established a 2-term tradition that was later made law by the 22nd Amendment. But maybe his most important precedent was establishing a cabinet or advisory council to gather opinions and advice on decisions the president must make. The cabinet, a term coined by James Madison in 1793, is appointed by the president, and consent for each member is given by the Senate. The members of the cabinet can be replaced by the president at any time. The Constitution set up the framework for the presidency, but it included no direct reference to how the executive branch must function. Washington relied on his experience with councils during the Revolutionary War. These war councils would debate as a group and provide options for General Washington to consider during the war. The first cabinet members were Secretary of State Thomas Jefferson of Virginia. Jefferson was responsible for advising on foreign affairs. Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton from New York. Hamilton oversaw the creation of a national bank and handled the country's finances. Secretary of War General Henry Knox of Massachusetts. General Knox advised on issues surrounding the military. And Attorney General Edmund Randolph of Virginia. Randolph was responsible for handling all legal affairs for the country. In order to establish balance and credibility, each member was chosen for their expertise. They also represented several different states. President Washington called his cabinet to order when a new issue or a dangerous situation arose. Even though each secretary was responsible for their own departments, they would advise on many subjects. For example, in 1793, France and Great Britain went to war. Jefferson advised that the United States take a pro-French stance, and Hamilton advised a pro-British stance. Washington ultimately decided to follow neither man's advice and declared the U.S. would remain neutral. As the federal government has evolved and expanded, so has the president's cabinet. Today's cabinet contains 15 department secretaries and other agency leaders. More modern department leaders include the Secretary of Education, Secretary of Energy, and the Secretary of Homeland Security.